arranged with his wicked stepdaddy and his hateful and lazy stepbrothers, Dwayne and Milton.
Bubba's stepmother spoiled Dwayne and Milton. But Bubba worked from sunup to sundown doing the chores of 3 ranch hands.
Bubba never complained that he loved ranching.
Dwayne and Milton spent their days sitting on horseback, bossing Bubba around.
Get them dozen on there, Bubba.
Yeah, watch off them cow pages. I hate for you to shack up the house.
Now Miss Lurleen, who lived down the road a piece, was the prettiest and richest gal in the county.
She owned the biggest spread west of Brazos, and she loved ranching too.
But it was some lonesome work, and after a while, she decided it was time for some companionship.
I am to find myself a fella, one who loves ranching as such as I do, and it wouldn't hurt if he's cute as Cassie either.
Miss Lurleen decided to throw a ball. She sent invitations to all the ranchers in Texas.
Soon the day of the ball arrived. Milton and Dwayne spent all day getting gussied up in their finest duds.
Bubba about ran him so ragged waiting on them.
Bubba, fetch my polo tie.
Bubba, get my boots polished.
Bubba, brush them horses and wash that wagon.
By the time Dwayne and Milton and their wicked stepmother were ready to go, Bubba was exhausted.
Still, as they climbed into the wagon, Bubba asked,
"Can't you wait for me? I think you're ready to dance with Miss Lauren too."
Dwayne and Milton and their wicked daddy hooted and hollered.
Why, you're started in a scary stockyard.
Can you imagine Miss Lauren dancing with the likes of yo?
Miss Elaine wouldn't even wipe off the dirt off your clothes, off your boots with that raggedy shirt of yours, and you smell more like a cattle than a cattle do.
Bubba took a look at himself. It was true. He didn't have a decent shirt to wear.
His boots were downright disgraceful, and he did smell a bit rough.
Milton and Dwayne were right. Miss Lurleen wouldn't dance with the likes of him. Bubba hung his head.
He felt lower than a rattlesnake in a gully.
Milton and Dwayne and the wicked mother went off to the ball. Bubba mounted his horse and headed to the pasture to check on the herd.
The sky was getting darker than a black bull at midnight. It looked like a Texas thunderstorm brewing.
Bubba had just arrived at the cow pasture when a bolt of lightning struck, knocking him off his horse.
Bubba was stunned for a moment, but when he picked himself up, he heard a voice.
Go to the ball, Bubba. Bubba looked around. No one was there except him and the cows.
Now Bubba figured he'd boinked the bejeebers out of his bean because the voice was coming from a cow.
I'm your fairy dog cow, and I can help you go to the ball.
Bubba sat up, rubbing his head.
I'd like to go to Mr. God Cow, but darn, I haven't got anything to wear.
Fairy god cows swished their tails. And Bubba's raggedy clothes changed into the handsomest cowboy duds he'd ever laid eyes on.
Wow, they're darn pretty. The fairy god cows swished their tails again. And a nearby steer turned into the most beautiful white stallion Bub had ever laid eyes on. I look darn pretty.
Now you go off to the ball, Bubba, and have a good time dancing with Miss Lurleen. But you best be home by midnight, 'cause that's when the magic comes out.
Yeah!
every time Miss Lurleen finished a dance, she yawned.
There goes another $10 Stetson on a 5-cent head. Where are all the real cowboys?
By the time it was Bubba's turn to dance with Miss Lurleen, it was almost midnight. Soon as she saw Bubba, Miss Lurleen's eyes lit up.
Why, you're cute as a cow's ear. Bubba blushed, then took Miss Lurleen in his arms. and started dancing. Dwayne and Milton turned purple with jealousy.
Who's that dude?
I don't recall seeing him before, but he looks a bit familiar.
Do something. That cowboy's playing Miss Lurleen's heart.
As it turned out, Milton and Dwayne didn't have to do a thing because Bubba and Miss Lurleen were in the middle of do-si-do when the clock struck midnight.
Suddenly, Bubba's fine duds turned into dirty rags he usually wore around the ranch.
What is the awful smell?
Why, Bubba?
Bubba turned 14 shades of red, apologized to Miss Lurleen, and ran out of the room.
Wait! But Bubba didn't wait. He jumped on his cow and lumbered off into the night. In the ruckus, he lost one of his dirty cowboy boots.
Miss Lurleen's clasped it in her arms.
This is the boot of a real cowboy and the man I want to marry, and I aim to find him.
Miss Lurleen went back inside, and though she asked everybody at the ball, nobody knew who the mysterious cowboy was.
Nobody except Dwayne and Milton and their wicked mother. That is, but they weren't talking. The next day, Miss Lurleen went from ranch to ranch, looking for the cowboy who owned the boot.
When she came to Dwayne and Milton's ranch, both brothers tried the boot on, but it didn't fit.
Miss Lurleen had just climbed on a horse to leave when Bubba rode up.
He was dirty and sweaty and smelly from working with the cows, and he was only wearing one boot.
Miss Lurleen jumped off her horse and